What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Golf and Gospel. I'm here at Boomers in Irvine, California, where I'll be facing off against my dog, Emily Ferree, in Golf and Gospel's first edition of Putt-Putt. Stay tuned as we talk about how she just opened up her own private practice as a physical therapist, as well as how she deals with singleness as a Christian, and lastly, why we shouldn't have a private faith. Stay tuned.
Watching my steps like I was James Harden. Guarding me is like guarding Jordan, you can't afford it. I shoot like Wardell in clutch moments. Regardless my opponents, I try to keep it honest as I write these little sonnets. Under wraps like my name Adonis. My daughter mixed like her name Adonis. I keep it straight as an orthodontist. Never become pompous, that's my promise. I'm conscious of the garden when my fruit tends to harvest. Yeah. Skating on tracks like I'm Sidney Crosby.
Deceptively simple?
Yeah, got a little part two. Yes, guys, I did bring my own putter. A little extra, but shout out to PXG.
Real skills don't need an extra putter. You can just go standard issue.
I always let my guests go first.
Is that why you put your own ball down?
Yeah, that was dumb. On you.
Okay.
Got a part two here, guys.
Should I read the green?
Definitely got to. Even at Boomers.
Okay.
All right.
It's going exactly how I planned so
There
far.
we go. I see a little right to left here. I'm not gonna take it that serious, it's just Boomers. Shout out to Boomers though. All right. I like it.
At first look, it would look like your first shot was better than mine.
I still think it is.
But
you never want to putt downhill though. That's the scary part.
Hey, are we playing? You get to go a width distance away from bricks?
I'll give you some relief. That works.
I love adversity. No!
Yes, back downhill. Perfect. Still you. No pressure, just people behind us, that's all.
Oh!
Nice. She's on 4. It's not in though, but she's dancing. Nice, she got it in 4.
If you don't win bringing your own putter,
Hey.
it's gonna be a lot for you.
There we go. Take the par. So Emily, you're a great PT. Might be a little biased. She is already a great friend of mine. But you worked at Movement First for a long time. Just finally opened up your own practice, Ferree PT in Fountain Valley. I said that right?
Nope.
I've known her for so long, I cannot say her last name right. Ferree. Ferree PT in Fountain Valley. How does it feel to finally have your own practice?
It feels like freedom, honestly.
Okay.
You just work so hard for a long time for other people, which was amazing. It was an amazing experience at Movement First.
For sure.
And I valued those, 6.5, almost 7 years a lot, and I learned a lot. But there comes a point in which I think you just want to have like ownership over what you do and bet on yourself and just kind of have a little bit more say and control in what you do. And I always thought like if I don't go out and do it on my own, I'll always wonder what if.
It's good. No one ever had any regrets. Like I said, she's a great PT. Top 3 PT in California. She's not 3 or 2, so that says a lot about her. But because I won that hole, I will go first.
I think you should have to answer what your favorite and least favorite physical therapy experience with me was.
My best experience with you, outside of meeting you, because we are really good friends, I would say this is a good job needling. I love needling. I love feeling like that pulsating feeling after a muscle just released. Does a great job of that. My worst, is it BFR? Yeah, BFR, bro. I feel like PTs do that because they just have something against you, and it's just the most painful thing in the world.
BFR on the Biodex?
Yes. I gotta get through this small little tunnel here, see what happens. Get in there. All right, here we go.
Do we know what happens once you go through this little tunnel?
Okay, hey, yeah.
What's on the other side? I got to scope it out.
Yes.
If I said it once,
I'm okay.
Again.
I'll let you stop me right there. You don't have to go through the hole. You can go around.
This is why we're not on a real golf course. I can't be trusted.
Wow, she just shouts my dog T-Way. T-Way, if you just saw, she just flop shot a putter at Boomer.
People are seeing things they've never seen before. It's incredible.
All right, that's better.
I'm going again.
She's hitting 5.
5? That's 4.
Now you're on 5.
Oh, yeah.
Got a par putt here. Nice. Still even through 2. Nice.
I'm hitting my stride now.
There we go. Want to try and stay even. Oh, it's a par 3 though. Okay. Birdie look. Hit. Wow, good putt, Jern. Good putt.
It's only up from here. It's right where I want it. I'm gonna go for the unknown ricochet right there.
Don't ricochet and come down here.
I see my line. That's what you say,
That's a good
right?
start. Okay. I'll go. Some in your way. All right, let's get a birdie here. There we go.
Wow.
Take a birdie. For par. Take a bogey. That's progress for you.
That is progress.
That's progress for you.
That's all we can ask for in life.
There we go.
I love an underdog moment for me.
You're still losing though.
Yeah, that's the underdog part.
Okay.
I have a lot of holes to go.
You do have a lot of holes to go. You, my opinion, were a heck of an athlete growing up.
Thank you.
Play a lot of sports.
I did.
You like to tell the people what sports you played growing up? That's a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Growing up, I played soccer, volleyball, and I swam competitively.
Nice. She doesn't like hand sports. Ironic.
Don't ask me to throw or catch anything.
Yeah. So hand-eye coordination. That's why
It's
she
not good.
won't play actual golf. I keep trying to convince her to, but she won't. So in answering that question, obviously you play a lot of sports. Did you deal with a lot of injuries in doing
Yeah.
those things?
Yeah.
What type of injuries do you have?
Soccer was my main sport. I always say soccer is my first love.
Mhm.
I love soccer, but soccer didn't love me back.
Yeah.
So I started dealing with some more serious injuries when I was in high school. So I had a series of concussions, and then I tore a couple ligaments in my ankle. And then my senior year, which is like right when I was really trying to negotiate with schools to get recruited, I ended up fracturing my pelvis and tearing my
Sheesh.
labrum in my hip. And so
You gotta explain how that all happened.
So it sounds like a really traumatic injury, but it was actually an overuse injury. So I had an avulsion fracture of my rectus femoris, which is a quad, but it's also hip flexor. So it attaches like essentially right above your hip joint
Gotcha.
onto your pelvis. And it just pulled right off my pelvis
Wow.
and fractured it on the way out. So at the time, I thought I just had a really bad hip flexor strain.
Wow.
And all I wanted in life was to play college soccer.
Yeah.
So I played on it for 3 months.
Wow.
And was just like in pain all the time, but it was my entire identity and self-worth, and
Wow.
I couldn't let it go. I think that was the start of a lot of kind of like body issues for me and identity issues, because one, all my worth and value was tied up in being an athlete and playing soccer.
That's good.
And I really had this like ideal of I will be worth something if I go play college soccer.
Wow. Okay.
But it also introduced this idea for me for the first time of like my body not being trustworthy, like feeling like my body, and I think you've experienced this too,
Yeah.
my body's betraying me in my biggest time of need.
Wow.
And it's not doing the things that I desperately need it to do, which was kind of the beginning of like a lot of really hard body image, kind of, I hate to be like dramatic about, but like self-hatred type of stuff for me.
That's good. That's good.
I love sports, but sports are like kind of also a big heartbreak in my life.
All right, guys, we have another part 3. All right, here we go.
Is it enough?
Oh, pain, bro. These aren't real greens.
Oh, you feel my pain.
I
You feel my
your
pain.
Hitting 2. Got to make this to save a birdie. Man. All right, you got to hit it. I'm about to say no way. Don't go down there. Ugh. Gross.
What we learned from Jeremy is be strong. Oh,
Yeah.
too strong.
Okay.
Too strong.
Yes.
Wow, being less strong. That lead.
Better spot than me. Oh my gosh.
So we're both hitting 3.
Yep.
Wow, how does it feel to be even with me?
I mean, it's not over. I can still win the hole. I had to save my bogey.
Oh!
If you would have won that hole, I've been very upset. All right, here you go for bogey. Nice. Ugh.
Wow, this is
Tie the
kinda-
hole.
It's kind of long. Come on. Eek.
Tie the hole. You tied the hole. She's so excited. That's a win for her for the rest of the day.
It truly is. I feel like we could go home now. It's probably been a solid like 6 years since I've done this.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just did it, 2 days ago, but on the real course.
Feels like I should go first since I essentially
You can
won
go
that
first.
hole.
I did the same thing versus Chelsea. Chelsea was is an assistant golf coach for GCU. So I said if I tie the hole, I get to go first. She just tied, so on to you.
Come on. Oh,
Huh.
that's interesting.
All right, I'm gonna take a totally different route. I'm not gonna take this little hill. Set me up. We like that. What's this, a par 2? We like a par putt. Easy tap in par putt. See if she ties the hole.
I could technically make it from here.
You could.
No, never say die. How do you like this putting stance?
You can do that.
Oh! Oh!
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. All right, tie the hole again. Oh!
God.
I hope y'all, you see, she's trying to hit me in the head so I can lose.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
There we go. Guys, I'm winning, obviously, but she just tied.
Did you see my last hole?
That was
Did you see
actually
it?
a great shot. Then she tried to take me out, give me a concussion, and make me go back to physical therapy, but we're not doing that. But I'll say this though, so I love how you spoke on like identity. And so my question would be right now, explain more in detail the struggles of your identity and when did you come to find that your identity was in Christ?
Tried to figure this out for myself for a long time. And this was like, I don't know if this was never a message that was like directly said to me, but I think as a kid, you just pick up like clues from around you in your environment. And growing up, for whatever reason, just looking at the people around me, looking at my environment, I think I always realized like the people that are worthy of love and belonging are either really funny, really beautiful, or really athletic.
Wow.
And for whatever reason, growing up, like I kind of came to the conclusion of like, I'm not a really funny person.
I think you're funny.
Appreciate you. And I'm not a really beautiful person.
I think you're beautiful.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
And so what I have going for me is I'm a really good athlete. And so
Okay.
if I can hang on to my athleticism and like hang on to being at the top of my game, then I'm worthy of love and belonging.
Wow.
And so when that all kind of started to fall apart for me, like right before I was about to go to college, like my self-worth fell apart with it.
Wow.
And I had just started going to church when I was in high school.
Okay.
And so I believed in God. I knew who God was. I think if you would have asked me at the time, like I would have like identified as a Christian, like follower of Jesus. But looking back, I don't think I knew what it was to follow Jesus.
I understand that.
And I knew enough like head knowledge about who God was and like what the gospel was to know like I'm struggling so much right now because my identity is in this one thing that I am in the process of losing.
Yeah.
And so I knew like intellectually exactly what was going on, but I didn't have an idea of what it was to actually find my worth in God in order to actually like make use of that information. But I could just kind of almost from like a third party like identify like, wow, things are shattering for me because my identity's not in the right place, but I don't know how to put my identity in Jesus.
Wow.
And kind of just by chance, because going into my freshman year of college, I wasn't an athlete.
Yeah.
So luckily I had the grades, I got into USC, went there on academics, and a cousin of mine was like, hey, you're not playing soccer for the first time in your life. I literally didn't even know what to do with my life without soccer.
Yeah.
She was like, come volunteer at this Christian camp with me, like you would love it. And
Which camp was it, you know?
Sunshine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sunshine Specialized Camping Ministries.
Okay.
Shout out.
Yeah.
And so it's the first time in my like Christian faith that I wasn't just like going to church and consuming. The position I like volunteered for and applied for and ended up doing that summer was like a service-based position. So it was a super awesome opportunity in that you like really learn like how to serve other people.
Right.
And I think in that, like it was really my first taste of like actually following Jesus.
That's good.
Like not just believing in God and being like, yep, God exists, but being like, who is Jesus actually? Like what did his life look like and how do I like emulate that?
That's good.
And so in the process of like giving myself away for other people, that's what really like solidified, like this is what it is to find worth and value in God of like, my life is so full and so joyful because like I'm so close to Jesus. I'm doing what he would be doing. Like he would be like washing the hands and feet of people. He would be serving people. He'd be loving people. He'd be giving people himself, like giving himself away for people. Like he would be seeking out the lost. He'd be like having conversations with people and trying to get them to feel loved.
That's
and so like in the process of doing all those things, like I really felt that like wholeness and joy that I used to feel playing soccer.
That's good.
Just in the process of like being near to God.
That's good.
Yeah.
And based off that answer, you deserve to go first. Go first. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow, it's looking so good.
Wow. Oh, okay. Now I have to make this. Now I have to make this. Wow, she aced it. So
Are you feeling the
Two
pressure?
under. She's two. Huh?
Are you feeling the pressure?
Absolutely not. I feel great. No pressure here.
I see the sweat on your brow.
Nope, that's not what it is. Ah, that's so weak.
I hate that for you.
I
hate it for you.
Take a birdie. If it goes in, obviously. Dang it. Two under
Sir.
to one under.
Go ahead and trade. I'm
Oh,
blue.
sorry. A little colorblind. She definitely gets to go first.
So sorry, what?
It's on tape, so I can't lie about it. You won the hole.
I don't even know what's going on here.
That's why you gotta go scout it out.
Okay. This feels like my odds of threading this needle are super low.
That's how you gotta think about it.
So do I just go around?
That's what I did on the one hole I beat you. You tried to be aggressive. I went around, tap in for a birdie. Now,
Or do I do what I do with my business and bet on myself?
You can bet on
Take the
yourself
risk.
and the situation. You're down a lot.
I'm
You
down
might
a lot.
want to be aggressive here. I don't have to. But because, again, you won the hole, you're first.
The reality is, me trying to hit it straight, it will probably go around anyways.
I'm about to say there's no way. There's no way. All right, that's a good spot.
Am I allowed to ask you questions too?
If you want to ask me questions, hey, if she wants to ask me questions, she can ask me questions. Ask me a question.
So can I ask you back when you feel like you knew what it was to find your identity in Christ?
Absolutely. So, wow, role reversal here. I'm going to hit this and I'm going to answer the question.
Okay.
Dang it. That's fine though. So for me, I was kind of the same as you. Kind of knew who God was, knew what the gospel was growing up. But I had more of a down south black family, like it was threatening to me. So I kind of believed in God out of fear, and not even a healthy fear about it, like I don't want to be in trouble. So for me, it wasn't until 2012, I was listening to my dog's name's KB, HTB Freestyle, shout out to KB. In the locker room, my boy Bobby Puyo comes up to me and was like, hey, you a Christian? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I identify as, but I wouldn't say that I was really surrendered to the gospel. I was more doing stuff to be loved. And he invited me to AIA, shout out to Athletes in Action. I will count that as a stroke, so now I'm on 3.
Wow, such a man of integrity.
I am.
I would not have counted that.
Dang it. Even worse. But then, yeah, I started going to Athletes in Action. I started getting discipled by this guy by the name Jan Van Patella. And he helped me to understand how essentially that Christianity is not a religious-based faith, it's a relational one, but Christianity is categorized as a religion. So like I said, for me growing up, I used to do everything based off works. Like I'm trying to earn love, I'm trying to do these things so my biological father, my stepfather will love me, so I must do these things. But there, when he helped me to understand how it was a relationship with Christ and there was no doing I can do,
Yeah.
it helped me understand his grace, and it put more into account what he actually did by dying on the cross. It wasn't just a cliche, oh, I identify as a Christian because I'm told to, but I actually felt the unconditional love of him laying his life on the cross for me.
Yeah.
And due to that, now I choose to be obedient to his word. I'm not doing anything for works.
Yeah.
So,
You're doing something because you love someone, not because you're trying to get someone to love you.
exactly. And that takes a lot of pressure off how I walk.
Yeah.
And obviously it gets something deeper. Obviously, if I want people to come to Christ, I must reflect them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was my get-to point. I think she asked me that question because now I'm distracted. I think I'm hitting 4 on the par 3, so now I'm hitting bogey. All right. I think that was bogey. I don't know what it was. There we go.
Okay, this is 3 for me.
This is 3? Okay. A par.
Ricochet.
Nope, a bogey. Let me make sure. I came up here, boom.
4.
Oh, you know why it was double bogey for me? Because I said, oh, I touched the ball, that counts. Yep. Man of integrity. Man of integrity.
Could never be me. Okay, so I'm up again.
You're up again because technically you won the hole. You won the hole.
Wow, so this is another straight shot. Not my forte.
We need to find what's names with a straight shot.
That's true. So how old were you? So that's high school when that kind of change happened for you?
2012, so I was in college.
Oh, it looks good. Oh,
Now I'm putting pressure on myself, man, because I do not want her to make that. Yeah, 2012, I was headed into my redshirt sophomore year in football. All right, we got to tighten up here. That double bogey was gross.
come join
Get
me.
off the wall. There we go. Oh, amigo. All right, it's part 2, right? So I gotta make this to say par. Got a weird hill here.
What
in
do
there.
you, nice. What do you feel like if you had to identify the things that were like, because I feel like there's always something that's trying to like compete with our identity.
It's always
in
something
Christ.
trying to compete with
Yes.
it? Okay, yeah.
What were those things, or that thing for you that was like trying to compete for that sense of worth?
Let you hit first.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No, stop!
Yes.
Oh,
So for me, I mean, as cliche as it may sound, like you kind of had said, in sports, I feel like I was most loved because of football.
yeah.
You know, oh, Jim's good at football, so we'll go to his games or we'll go to these camps, we'll support him all the way, which you do want to have support in your sport, but I think that's how I best receive love.
What do you do when your ball wants to have to
All right,
off the
we're going to
wall?
just remark it right here.
Wow. I will accept.
Should I count that as a stroke?
You know what? You're the golf expert. I will honor your rules.
You know what? Because that's man-made, it won't count as a stroke.
Wow. I
There you go.
accept. I'm not above accepting that. Okay. Oh, so sad. Go! Yes!
I don't know what number you were at. I know I
So that
parred.
was 1, 2, you moved it 3.
Okay, bogey. Damn, what was that? My question?
What was competing?
Oh
for
yeah, yeah.
identity?
So yeah, sports. So everyone loved me because of football,
Yeah.
with the exception of my mother.
Yeah.
Like my mom,
Shout out, Mom.
for sure. Shout out to my mother, Michelle Rittman. She literally, when I mean unconditional, no matter what you did, obviously not nothing stupid like robbing banks and stuff, but like
Yeah.
I say this story all the time. Like I used to have tons of people come to my football games because
Yeah.
I was good at football.
Yeah.
But if I had a basketball game, people weren't popping up like that. My mom was there though, and I
Yeah.
was good at basketball.
Yeah.
Or when I had a math tournament in 5th grade, people wouldn't come to my math tournament. My mom came.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, no matter what I was doing, my
She
mom's
was
going to
interested in
support
it.
her
Yeah.
son. So if I had to find a earthly human that showed what God's unconditional love is, it's my mom. 'Cause
Yeah.
my mom, literally, no matter what you're doing, she's going to love you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you have to do to earn her love. She's going to love you no matter what. And I obviously, in the rightful sense, like I said, if I'm not out here doing stupid stuff, I'm like, oh, good job. But like,
Yeah.
my mom doesn't, if you're doing something you love and you're passionate, like my mom watches all my golf stuff. My mom doesn't like golf
Yeah.
because her son is doing golf stuff. My mom loves it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, but my mom showed me essentially what unconditional love was. Speaking of that, I parred. She bogeyed.
Tough.
Tough. So we're just gonna play this whole out. Okay, what's this, a par 3? Whoo! You can use that rock to ricochet.
Yeah. That's
Or we can use this
disgusting.
brick. Or can I slowly just let it fall? Let's not do too much.
Seems like the intention is to use the rock.
That's what they want you to think.
Okay.
That's what they want you to think. Hit it. Come on. All right, tap in birdie. Nice.
I love that for you. I hate that for me. Okay. Oh,
Whoa. I thought we were about to go OB.
what I'm learning today is that I don't know my own strength.
You've been working out a lot too. Not to say you haven't been working out before, but as of lately, you've been in the gym, so you probably don't know your strength right now.
To be fair, I'm always in the gym and have always been in the gym, and now I just post about it.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's you make a point right there. People are like, oh, you're not training hard enough. Why? Because I don't post it? But you
Yeah.
already have. But you have been showing
Listen,
more.
I'm just in a season of showing up and being seen and being okay with that.
Nice.
For better or worse. So here we are.
Love that.
Boop. Come
Wow.
on, baby.
That is a birdie, huh? You were 1 under? Yeah. Nice. Dang it.
Hey, don't miss this.
Definitely not gonna miss a tackle.
I-
Not gonna miss that.
I would hate it for you. if you did.
I have missed some on the real golf course, but I don't think I'm gonna miss one at Boomers. All right, let's get this hole. Another par 3.
Wow, another like soup bowl situation. And also like you need to hit it straight situation. Not my forte, but here we go. Oh,
Get out of there. Woo, I was hoping it was gonna hit that concrete.
I thought it was about to be up and over. I'm
I
not
thought it
gonna lie.
was too. What is this? These little speed bumps? Okay. Dang it, the same thing as you.
You had a better ricochet though. I feel like I've done this every hole.
Yeah. I'm starting to think it's strategy at this
me
point.
and the brick wall are just really...
Our friends.
Yep. Intimate. Okay, Em, don't be a monster. Just baby tap. Should I go for this? This worked really well for me last time. Guess I go to now.
That is hilarious. I do make myself nervous, man, each time. Obviously, speak on it as much as you want.
Okay.
But you have told me about how you've experienced some church hurt.
Yeah.
But I also want you to speak about how even through the midst of church hurt, it did not ruin your relationship with Christ itself.
I have put some thought into how much of this do I want to share.
Yeah, yep.
But I think it's important to be vulnerable.
Okay.
So I was in an abusive relationship for almost 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with so many wounds on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically when it comes to church hurt, what was really hard for me was I was in this super tight-knit Christian community that watched this happen. And there's a lot of things to say about exactly what went down in that relationship, but there was some really crazy things that people witnessed and were there for, and this man was never called out on his behavior. It's hard because like I'm such a strong, independent woman. I find so much pride in that.
I
so
do
even
agree with that. Yeah.
telling this story, there's a lot of shame for me of being like, I should have just gotten myself out of that situation. Narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse and like really controlling situations are hard to describe to people that have never been in them.
Yeah.
And so when I say I felt like I could not get out, I really sincerely felt trapped.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, like I so badly wanted somebody to like rescue me out of that. And like would just be so perplexed of like looking around at this really strong knit community of people that love Jesus and being like, you see what's happening and you're either like just okay with it and don't care about me, so you just think like this is fine what's happening, or you're in agreement with this person that I deserve to be treated this way. And over time that just like built in me just this belief that I was so not worth being treated well. But also that these people of faith weren't actually about what they said they were about. Like we profess being about like doing life together and calling each other higher and holding each other accountable. And nobody ever held this individual accountable for what he was doing to me. And it was out in the open. Like it was not secret. And that was really, really hard for me. So when I did finally break up with him, I had like a really strong mistrust of Christian community because I felt like you guys aren't trustworthy. Like I was so in need of help and none of you showed up for me. And that's what I'm saying, like these were great people, these are loving people, and so it just didn't align with like what my view of what Christian community should have been. And it honestly made me like really mistrusting and fearful of like entering back into Christian community, of feeling like you guys aren't gonna actually be about what you say you're gonna be about, and I can't rely on you. And at the same time, like this person was also like really propped up in our church. Like he was a leader in the youth group and he spoke on Sundays and he was just like regarded as this like, he was a very influential person in the church. And so part of me felt like I can't trust an organization that propped this person up. And that was really hard for me.
I got you.
Man,
it's kind of hard transition to go and golf from that. And like I said, guys, I love Emily a lot. I know this story. Thank you for being vulnerable in regards to that. I do want to get on the second part of that question, but we're going to play this hole real quick. Hey, what number's on that hole?
She's hitting her stride, everyone.
3.
Yet,
thank you.
The mini golf course still does me dirty. I did everything right.
All right. Again, I'm sure I have the lead, but too many tied holes. You got to hit this thing, bro. This is not Silverado or Starfire. This is Boomers. Get the ball.
Recommend just going with reckless ambition.
Right. That's fine. That's a win. Oh, dang, that came out with some speed. Okay, that's disgusting.
That feels personal.
Yeah, that is gross.
I want you to know that I went through the middle and came out the right hole, and we still ended up in the same spot, which feels
Deceptive.
like
that thing's gonna
some
carry
injustice.
the same. It's gonna carry the same speed no matter how hard I hit it in the hole.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna have to move it away from the wall anyway.
Yeah. So you go first.
Okay. My trusty.
I'm about to say, I'm so mad that's working. Had to give myself room. Had to punch out. Hey, what you doing?
Hey, I hate that for you. I'm so sorry that happened
so
to you.
Weak. Get in there.
Oh, I hate this for you. I hate this for you.
I cannot get up this hill because I have no room to hit it. If this game comes down to like the last hole, because this hole, it's going to be terrible.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Okay, good. Bogey.
Oh!
So you're hitting 3?
Yep.
So for birdie.
My heart.
I thought that was going to come out.
My trusty.
-1. So just kind of touching on the last question we just got off of, did that affect your relationship with Christ, or were you still strong in who Christ was?
I think one of my downfalls in all of life is I really pride myself on like being able to like muscle through things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a super emotional girl, and I pride myself on that, and like I can intellectualize things really easily. And so even if there's something that like I'm angry with God about, or I'm like heartbroken about something, or whatever it is, like I really pride myself on being like, nah, but like I shouldn't feel that way. Like I can be like, I can intellectualize myself like out of my feelings.
Yeah.
And so initially when I first got out of that relationship, like it was just like the biggest sense of like freedom and relief.
Okay.
And so I think initially you were kind of like riding that high of like, I got out. Like I never thought I was gonna get out, and I got out. But what I didn't like really allow myself to acknowledge initially was that there was like some anger with God of like,
okay,
you
fair.
let this happen.
Fair, yeah, for sure.
Like this guy claims you. You know,
good.
I had, before I dated this guy, I was dating somebody that wasn't a believer. Who
I fell to that too.
Yes.
I fell to that too.
Who was at the time my best friend, treated me so well. Like when
Morally
you look at
good.
when you look at like from a relationship standpoint, it was the best relationship I'd ever been in. Like nothing was wrong. And I left that relationship because I was like, I'm gonna be obedient to God and like find somebody who is a believer.
Right.
And I felt like it would have been better had I married him.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
So I felt angry at God of like, I was listening to you and I went and found this Christian man who
Dang.
like friends and family both like were like, you're gonna marry this guy, he's amazing. Like, we're gonna set you up with him, like this is the guy for you. So I went in with like all this hope and expectation of like, this is what dating a Christian man is gonna be like, and it was the worst situation I've ever found myself in.
Wow.
And like, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I just really want to emphasize to people like, I mean, my family had like interventions with me. Like my mom would cry. She thought she would, for like 2 years, neither of my parents like slept well at night because they were so worried about this situation that I was in. Like my mom would be like, I was afraid I was gonna get a phone call that you were gonna be dead on the side of the road.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like it was a really, really, really bad situation. And so I think there was this anger with God of like, you let that happen. Like, A, like, why did me, like, feeling like I followed your directions end up in such a bad place? And B, why didn't you rescue me out of that? Like, you saw me get treated like that for almost 6 years, and, like, why didn't you come get me?
Yeah.
And I think where I was at in that situation, like, I just got to a place where I was so powerless in that relationship that I felt like I needed somebody to come rescue me. And I was like, God, you're supposed to be my rescuer.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you rescue me?
Yeah, so you definitely struggle with his sovereignty at that point, right?
For sure.
That,
And so I think on the outside, like everything looked good between God and I, but I had this like inner conflict of like, I'm actually mad at you and I'm not telling you about it.
Wow. Like he doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think I'm so good at hiding my emotions, even to myself. And so it took a while for me to like acknowledge that with God and be like, you didn't come get me when I thought you were supposed to come get me. And like, you know, I can acknowledge, okay, I'm out of it now, I'm safe now.
Amen.
But like you took too long.
The timing, yeah. Well, we all kind of like, we struggle with God's timing a lot. We can all.
1000%.
I say the same thing with football. I'm not gonna get into it, but I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
so there's like this conflict of feeling like, sure, you came and rescued me, but like you let too much damage happen first. And which, right, like that's our plan, like that's our idea of good.
Yeah.
Like my idea of good is God not letting any of that happen.
For sure.
And so it took like a little bit for me to like really like wrestle it out with God.
Wow.
And like come to terms with that, but also like surrender that and be like, I'm mad at you, but I still freaking love you.
Amen.
And like, I don't get this, but like, I also know you love me.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna like hang on to that, even though it feels like it was unloving for you to leave me in that situation.
Yeah, that's good. I hope people are encouraged by that. Like I said, people are waiting. I hate the transition so quick. She's gonna play, but I think that's a very good word. Part 3.
I hope people are encouraged by the comeback that's happening in my golf game right now.
I don't think you're really coming back, but yeah, I understand. You're playing better.
Let's say I'm winning for most improved for sure.
Good luck getting out of that.
Oh,
then.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Good luck getting out of that.
No.
Come on, hit it. Wow.
Let me just. It's worked for me before.
So, par 3. Shoot. Oh yeah, not the right angle. Saw it from the get-go. All right. Nice. And you're on for bogey.
Come on, baby. Oh no!
Yes, you love to see that.
She's crumbling.
Yes.
Okay. This is why. You have to go with the old faithful.
You got to. I thought, did we skip a hole? Was that 11? All right, par 3. Oh, ace.
Oh my gosh.
Dang it. Get off the wall.
It looks good.
Nice. Oh no, that was a bad take from the get-go. Saw it. Stay on the wall.
That's crazy. You're gonna talk trash and we're right next to each other.
That's crazy. That's just favor for you.
Oh, come
my
back.
gosh.
Come back and join me. Come.
Yes.
I hate that for you
Wow.
so much.
Stupid bogey, man. They're not real greens, Jeremy. Thank you.
Oh, come back. No.
Tie the hole.
That's. Do we?
Yeah.
One,
Wait.
two. I got 3.
You got 3?
Four.
Oh, you par? Oh, okay, nice.
Here.
Come back to her. Ooh.
I didn't want that hole.
Oh, yes.
Come on back, baby. Come on back.
All right.
This is what you get for talking trash.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Come join me behind the rock.
Just roll the wall.
Oh.
If that was my ball, it would came back. That's probably why you want the blue over the green.
Listen, I'm on a straight shot now. It worked exactly the way I wanted it to. Oh.
Literally same outcome, but mine wants to. There's no way, bro. Oh my gosh. Sit.
See, here's the
Sit.
thing. You're not as well acquainted with the wall as I am.
That really what it is.
You know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Okay, you're hitting 5, just so you know.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Gotta go tried and true.
Oh yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Stay. So
No.
wait, what's the
No.
spin? Sit.
Do what I did.
Sit.
That is crazy. There we go. Dang, so that was 6. That was +3.
Ah!
Yes. She's going to join me. I don't know what number you're on.
So that was 1, 2, 3,
4. So you're on 5? What's that?
Right?
Yeah. But you're going to make this. You should.
Wait. You can't deviate from your ways. No! No!
Wow.
My ways betrayed me.
I'm about to win this hole. That is crazy.
That can't be right. You hit 1,
It's on tape,
and
though.
then you hit 3 this way.
It's on tape. So I mean,
5.
I will figure out the real
6.
thing.
I'm going on 6 right now.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen this golf stance before.
There we go.
Up.
Oh, we tied. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Oh.
You're
That's
fine.
all right. This is exactly
You're
where
fine.
we wanted to go.
You didn't want that.
Because we know those tunnels don't lead anywhere good anyways. It's exactly where I want to be.
Ew. What was that?
Looks exactly like mine. So can I ask you, since I know you and we're friends, obviously like relationships have been a big part of like your story and your testimony.
In terms of friend relationships or dating?
Romantic,
Okay. Whoa.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So have there been ways that like romantic relationships have shaped your view of God or your relationship with God?
I would say in this way, kind of the same as you.
I'm going. Is this cool?
You can go.
Okay. Oh,
Yes. So I would say for me, based on the question you just asked me,
mini golf's so disappointing sometimes.
in a sense it did, because like, it was kind of like you said, I've dated non-believers, which was definitely unwise. But like, I don't know why they seem like the most, maybe fun. I don't know if fun is the right word, or it's just like the most compelling. I don't know what word to use, but I know it was not obedient to the Lord to do so. So I remember every time like a relationship didn't work out with Christian or non-believer, I just get mad at God, like, bro, it's especially pursuing absence. I'm like, bro, you have to give me my wife, because this is annoying if I'm being transparent.
Uh-huh.
And every time that failed, and being transparent, every time that failed, I kind of put my faith on like in my back pocket. And I started to, I started to live a worldly life, because I was like, man, I can't hold out right now.
Yeah.
So it's embarrassing saying that out loud, because I was so boastful in Christ, but every time a relationship didn't work out, I didn't reflect that. So now I'm giving a misrepresentation of him when I shouldn't have been doing so. But I've learned to be patient now, so I have a lovely fiance now. Just got engaged yesterday. This
Shout
is going
out.
Yeah, shout out to my fiance, Erica. She is definitely someone I for sure been praying for, and has showed me definitely what a godly relationship is, and what the fruits of actually waiting and being patient actually is. And I think this is actually a perfect segue for me to ask you, how do you battle as a believer in a season of singleness, which, guys, my homegirl is definitely worthy, so DM dive.
Shout out.
DM dive, but with the right intentions, because if you don't, I'm about to come after you. All right, so play this hole and then answer that question. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, no? No.
I don't remember what happened that last hole.
I'm going to reframe your question a little bit.
That's fine, yep, do so.
So you use the word battle.
Okay, maybe
which,
wrong
like,
word.
Which I think fair. Like, I think for some people it's a battle. There's been times for me where it's a battle, but I don't want to just say that like being Christian and single is automatically a battle.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of like, in the Christian church, I think there's a mistake of people feeling like their life is going to start when they're with somebody, their life is going to start when they're married, or that's like the culmination of the Christian walk, and I'm going to get married and everything's going to be okay. And there's so much like emphasis and pressure in the church to like be married, find your person, which is like, marriage is amazing, but Paul also talks about like, I've chosen the better route, and like it's amazing to be single.
7:8,
yeah,
yep.
like there's, I think, ways to like honor God and live like a really full, amazing life in both singleness and in relationship.
Right.
And so I don't want to just say that like being single is a battle.
Okay. Well, I guess I had asked that question because, respectfully, I know you yearn to be married.
For sure.
And stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, and I'm not going to say that, like, you know, that isn't the correct word sometimes. That's not an aspect of it. Like, for sure it is. I just don't want to portray that as, like, that's the only thing that it is.
For sure. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I feel like for me, in this season of singleness, gosh, that's a complicated question.
Okay, how about this? You play it out, and we'll get back to that question.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, you can go. You
Okay.
go. You'll be going for birdie right now.
Lord, if my husband is watching this, let this go in. He's not watching. He doesn't know.
Hey, man, he has other things to worry about right now. Oh, if it goes in, it goes in. All right, that's fine. Safe bogey.
Tap in, tap in.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going for par. Is it 3?
Yeah, it's 3 for you. Perfect.
So I'd say singleness is multifaceted for me in that because of what I came out of, which is years ago now at this point.
Yeah.
There was like a lot of fear for me of getting back in a relationship and like just going back to that situation of being like so controlled and treated so poorly and everything that came with that. And I think there was like a lot of like fear and hesitancy of like even entering into like being on a dating app or like talking to somebody or even going on a date. I think because of what happened, I like lost a lot of trust in myself of feeling like if this goes poorly, like I don't trust myself to get out.
Yeah.
So I didn't get out in time with this guy. Not to mention like when you go through something like that, like there's a lot of healing you have to do. And I did not want to get back into something and then just like carry all that wound and baggage into it or not like heal the parts of me that made me like susceptible to something like that and then get in a situation and have that repeat itself.
Yeah.
So a lot of singleness was just like trying to heal those wounds and like really figure out like where I was with the Lord. And sometimes I did that well and sometimes I didn't do that well.
Yeah.
And really soon after I'd gotten out of that relationship, I'd actually met somebody and kind of fell back into a lot of like, he was an amazing person. I loved him.
Yeah.
But it was another relationship where like I allowed myself to not really be seen or valued.
Right.
And I allowed like him and his needs and who he was to like take center stage and be kind of the only important thing. So I feel like in that, like I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with that person or just in a relationship in general.
Yeah.
And so for me, it just was kind of further confirmation of like, I want to be a whole person before I meet somebody. And so singleness has looked a lot like trying to heal that and figure that out and be as healthy as possible. And then also like learning how to not tie my sense of self-worth to another person.
That's good.
Because like when I was in that really bad relationship, like I allowed this person to essentially like teach me and convince me that I was so worthless and like just really like, yeah, just so worthless essentially. And so when things didn't work out with the next guy that I was with, I like really battled self-worth stuff because I think a lot of the wounds were still so fresh. But also I think what it really taught me is like the difference between something that's true and truth.
Yeah.
Like it was true that this next person like didn't think I was worth it, but it wasn't truth that I'm not worth it.
That's good.
Like those two things could coexist, that like this relationship like didn't work out and it was kind of heartbreaking for me, especially on the tail end of like everything that had happened. But that still doesn't mean that like I didn't have worth and value. Like another individual could look at me and say, she's not it, not worth it. And that could be totally true. Like I don't have to deny that truth to then, but still say, but I am worth it.
You are worth it,
So just kind of like being able to lean in and hold space for like true and truth can not be in alignment. And I think a lot of times like we want to say like, oh, like my self-worth and value, like I know what my self-worth and value should be. And so if somebody else disagrees with that or acts not in alignment with that, it comes into conflict with like, well, so which one of these is true? And I think people either try and minimize the reality of a situation and say like, no, this person really loved me, this person really cared about me, it just didn't work out. And so then they can still hold on to their self-worth. So it's like, no, I was loved, it just didn't work out. Or people say, no, this person didn't love me and didn't think I was worthy, and so I must not be. And so I think instead, like, I've found kind of power in being able to like hold true to reality. The reality is this person said M's not worth it. But the truth is that I am. And like those two things can coexist. I don't have to alter reality or alter my perception of what happened to still like hold on to what's true about me.
what are some things you did to heal yourself from the pain, or some stuff you're still doing to help yourself heal?
Good question.
Yeah.
I think we're always healing. I think there are things I'm still healing from. But I think for me, and this is going to sound crazy to some people, but I was in a place where, and first off, I went to counseling. Shout out therapy.
Yes,
it's great.
Yes,
no stigmas.
If you need it, you go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with that.
And what going to therapy like made me realize was that I had, through the process of this really long abusive relationship, had basically become like a non-human being that like didn't have needs, didn't have values, like didn't have a voice, wasn't allowed to be seen.
Yeah.
Like if you knew me in that time, like I would be in a crowded room of people and just like sit off in the corner and like don't speak unless spoken to, like was made to feel stupid if I said anything, like was talked down, like it was just, and so I just became like, I just took up less and less and less space and was quieter and quieter and quieter, which is why like work and my relationships at work were like so important to me, because it was really the only space of my life where like I could be who I was and like kind of own my space. But anyways, all that to say, I was in a place where like I just didn't even know, like I didn't have needs, I didn't have values, I didn't have opinions, I didn't have a voice, like I didn't know how to take up space. And so like even in therapy, like we honestly started with like my therapist would be like, Emily, like you get to go home and decide what you want to eat for dinner. Yeah. Like it sounds so simple and silly, but like that's the place I was in, of being like, I don't even like, I'm so out of tune with even like, what do I want to eat? Because like even those decisions I wasn't allowed to make for 6 years. Wow. And so a lot of that was just like coming to a place of being like, I'm a person that has needs and I'm like worth having my needs met, and I have opinions and I have a voice and like, you know, I'm allowed to take up space. Like I kind of made a joke earlier about like, I work out and I post it now. Like, but like I'm learning to be like, I deserve to be seen and I deserve to take up space. And so a lot of the healing has just been that, being like acknowledging that like, I'm a human being with worth and value, and I'm allowed to own that in front of other people and expect other people to honor that. And if you're not going to treat me like I'm worthy of those things, then you don't get to hold an intimate space in my life.
That's good. I love that.
So yeah, I think a lot of like A, therapy, and then B, just like time sitting alone with the Lord and like really like wrestling through like what actually happened, why it happened, the things that led into that, and then just, I think there's a lot of Christianese that goes into like talking about wounds and healing, and so I don't want to throw a lot of Christianese out there. Like we talk about like surrendering your wounds to the Lord, and then it's like, well, what the frick does that mean? But for me, what that's actually looked like is like having conversations where like through tears, through anger, like I've been like, God, I'm mad at you for this. And God, like this freaking hurt so bad. And like, and just being like super honest with God of like, this is what I feel and this is where I'm at. And just like speaking that out loud and being like, here's all the junk, and like I'm just gonna lay at your feet without the expectation that you're just gonna fix it and solve it, and it's gonna miraculously go away. But I'm just gonna own it, acknowledge it, like let you see it, and then like choose to trust you that like still you're working all things out for the good. That's good. Of me and my life.
Romans 8:28, guys. Romans 8:28.
Yeah.
That's good. We're on hole 17 on a part 3.
That was a really long, rambly way to say therapy and time with Jesus.
But I do believe this is going to reach a specific person. So first off, guys, like and subscribe to this page, and we're going to play this next hole. You know, hey guys, also shout out to Phoebe, man. Phoebe's her dog.
Oh yeah, we just talked about what I do to heal. I got a dog.
Yeah,
and it's the best decision I've ever made.
Phoebe has been huge.
Yes.
Here we go, part 3.
Talk about unconditional love. Phoebe and Jesus. Those are the two people that unconditionally love me.
Nice. I want to say the same thing about my tortoises, but they've been fighting so much, it's crazy. I tried to hug that wall. Stay right there. That's perfect, that's fine. I wanted to hug that edge right there.
Oh.
That's why I didn't want to go.
I feel like people who watch your channel are probably like really into golf.
Or
the gospel, which is great.
Yeah.
But like also at least have an appreciation for golf. And I think there's gonna be like a lot of people cringing at my putting skills.
That's fine.
And so for that, to your viewers,
oh thank God.
So to your viewers, I just want to offer an apology for my golfing skills. That like you probably hate watching this, and I
always say I have had some episodes where I played bad, and I say I hope they enjoy the conversation.
I was robbed. I can't believe it. They just did me like that.
I'm so happy this thing didn't go down the hill. Par.
Come on, par also. Yes.
Nice.
Is there any chance that I could win this?
I doubt it. Let's see. Oh. You know what I did? I started right yours on my side. I'm gonna have to really watch the video and get that right.
So really, who could say? I could be winning right now.
You could, we'll see. All right, guys, so we're on our final hole. First, I want to say shout out to my sponsors that I don't have. But the last question I'm going to ask you is this. So, how is your relationship with Christ now? And how can you encourage people to, well, I hope you have a good relationship with him to encourage people to Christ, but how's your relationship with Christ now, and how can you encourage people to surrender their lives to Christ?
Yeah. I think my relationship with Christ is more authentic than it's been in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been seasons where I felt like the presence of God more, I felt like the joy of the Lord more. But I think in the last few years, having gone through some of the things that I've gone through, and there's been, you know, little ways that I've walked away from the Lord, or big ways that I've walked away from the Lord, or ways that I've felt like really angry at God, or felt like God's failed me. And before, when I've felt this like really strong connection with the Lord, like everything was going really well. And I think like these adversities that I thought I had were like so small, and there was not a lot that had really tested my faith. Mm-hmm. And so I think being in a place now where like some things have really tested my walk with the Lord, to say like there's been some things that have really made me question like, is God really good? Is God really with me? Like, is God really for me? When I've fallen, like, does God really still love me? Like, do I really believe in redemption? Do I really believe in God's forgiveness? And walking through those things and being able to come out the other side and say like, yes, God was with me. Like, yes, I still trust him. And I'm choosing to trust him, even though there's been like instances in my life where I feel like, God, you weren't trustworthy in that because things didn't go the way I wanted them to go.
Well, you wanted,
the way I thought they should go, or what I thought was good. And so I think there's ways that my faith's been really tested in that. That's made my faith a lot more authentic.
That's good.
And I think I'm in a place right now, just to be like perfectly vulnerable, that like there's not a lot of joy in the Lord. Like there's not a lot of like, man, I just feel God's presence and it feels so good right now. I think there's a lot of battling for like, God, I know you're good and I'm going to trust that.
Yes.
And I don't really feel it right now, but like I'm going to continue to press on. That I think is a really powerful place to be, because we can't just rely on like, man, that like, it just feels so good right now.
Good, yeah.
I feel like I'm in a place of relying on not what I feel about God, but what I'm like choosing to know about God.
That's good. That's super good. And I hope that encourage you guys as well, man. It makes me also think about, probably not to this degree, but the story of Job, who went through so much turmoil, but he still chose to rely on the characteristics of God and who he is, even though his friends were wrong in everything they were telling him. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Still got this last hole. Follow my dog, Emily Ferree. Ferree. Man, I know there's someone I just can't say her last name. Emily Ferree. Ferree.
Yes.
On IG. What's your IG?
It's literally just my name, Emily Ferree.
Emily Ferree. I do love her a lot. I'm spacing out. But we're gonna play this last hole now. Here we go. Oh yeah. We don't get this ball back, right?
No, it like disappears.
It comes out there.
You get 1, 2, or 3 depending on where your ball lands.
Sure, we'll see what happens here.
Or 4 if it lands in none of them.
All down there, that's right. Okay. That's tough. Nice.
Oh, a 2.
I don't know where it's going.
It goes nowhere. It
It
got
goes
eaten
nowhere.
up so that you don't steal their balls and play like 8 rounds of golf.
Wow.
Wow, we tied the last hole.
We can say we tied it.
Oh, the gentleman's handshake.
Gentleman's handshake. Again, please guys, like, subscribe, follow my dog Emily on Instagram. If you're an athlete, you need physical therapy, go to Fountain Valley at Ferree.
Nope.
Ferree
Ferree.
PT in Fountain Valley. Hit her up, man. Thanks for you guys watching.
You don't have to know what it's called. Just come through.
Just come through. But we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Golf and Gospel. We're out.